Hi everybody, Mark Moorhead, Curator of Education at the Hall of Flame Museum of Firefighting here in Phoenix, Arizona. We are the world's largest historical firefighting museum, and if you can't come into the museum, we bring the museum to you. And not only do we bring the museum to you, sometimes we bring our storage area, our warehouse, to you as well to see some of the treasures that right now aren't on the floor. And to talk about one of them today, one of a particularly beautiful one, is one of our great friends, our docent, Mark Kaufman, a fellow Pennsylvanian like myself, that's another point in his favor, and a former assistant chief of the Linfield, Pennsylvania Fire Department, but he's got a story to tell us about this truck, which was quite nearby. So take it away, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. This truck in particular is a 1948 Buffalo. It was made in Buffalo, New York by the, believe it or not, Buffalo Fire Appliance Company. This particular model was first built in 1939 and continued that way until 1948, and it is either one of the last or the last Buffalo that was built. This truck has particular significance to me in the fact that where I grew up as a kid, this truck was stationed about 4 blocks away from me. So I was able to see it in operation when we were out roaming the streets, as kids normally do anyway. We would see this thing leave the station, big, wide, low, ominous looking. When it first started up, and originally it had a Hercules engine in it, it would just sit there and growl. Right now they've repowered it. It has a General Motors diesel engine in it, but it still has the original transmission, which is a 5-speed manual. This particular truck is 1,000 gallon a minute. When Buffalo built these things, they had 4 different styles, what they called models, but it was on the same body style. The 500 gallon a minute was the Pathfinder series. The 750 gallon was the Invincible series. This one happens to be the Commander series at 1,000 gallons a minute, and the Aristocrat was 1,250 gallons a minute. This one's unusual in the fact that the ladders are on the driver's side as opposed to the officer's side. The hard sleeves, and in this case they have flex sleeves on this one, which are not original, but the department put it on, are on the passenger side. The pump is in behind a closed door, accessible on either side, and it was done for the streamlining effect, I would assume. The pump has 2 discharges on either side of the truck. Okay, you take notice that we also wear gloves around here. The oils in your fingers, when you're working with a vehicle of this age or something older, they tend to help deteriorate the paint on there, so we try to avoid that whenever possible. However, on this particular rig, as I mentioned before, this is the pump panel. Everything is enclosed behind the door. Same thing on the other side of the truck. 1,000 gallon a minute pump. Your intake for your hard sleeves, intake for 2.5, or your discharges, 2 on this side, 2 on the other side, designating a 1,000 gallon minute pumper. The cab, 4-door, well ahead of its time, sat 4 firefighters in the back seat and 3 firefighters in the front seat. Easily well ahead of its time, but it protected them. Now granted, when I was a firefighter, I could ride on the back step also, which we did, and you can do on this one also, but that's not done anymore today. The other unusual thing about this truck is the fact that the gas tanks, the gas fill, is underneath the bench seat for both the front seat and the back seat.
Go ahead.
Hard sleeves on this side of the truck, which is unusual. Normally they're on the other side of the truck. The department put the flex sleeves on here in order to be able to maneuver them to get them onto the pump and also onto the hydrant. There's 3 of them on here because the area where this truck was servicing also had limited hydrant systems, which means that they would use either a stream, a river, a pond, maybe a small lake, something of that nature. So there were 3 of them here in order to be able to hook up to reach whatever they needed and still maintain their distance onto the road or the side of the road so that they wouldn't bury themselves in the mud. How we came about acquiring this piece, I got a phone call one day from my little brother Jim. My little brother Jim was a firefighter stationed at this firehouse, and he says, "Hey Mark," he says, "West End's getting rid of their Buffalo." And they're, "Why?" Turns out they were looking to purchase a new truck. They had no place to put this one. This was their first do rig for quite a long time. They had gotten a 1973 Ward LaFrance Ambassador that became their first do truck, and now they were upgrading once again to getting a new truck. They had no place to put this. Contacted me. I let the people here at the museum know about it. They went back and forth with the people at the fire station, and after some negotiations, we ended up having the truck donated to us, and we're very proud of that. West End Fire Company used this rig quite a bit in parades in the eastern part of Pennsylvania, and since we've had it, we have had it in a number of parades out here, primarily the Fiesta Bowl parade, but it's also been utilized over at Phoenix Fire Department Station 8, old Station 8. And they use it as a prop over there, and it is very well received wherever it is shown.
Thanks, Mark. That was great stuff. As always, we appreciate you docents.
Well, most of us are all former firefighters. We are here to help out wherever we can. We would love to be able to share the history, the heritage, traditions of the fire service whenever you come in. Just because the fire is extinguished doesn't mean that our job is finished. So take care, be good, stay safe.
Nicely said. And we also appreciate you for stopping by our YouTube channel. If you enjoy these segments, please subscribe to them, like them, share them with your friends and family, post them on your social media, all of that stuff, and check back often because we're always trying to offer you new good stuff here at the Hall of Flame Museum of Firefighting. Bye-bye.
Take care.